Hey guys, how's it going? It is a pre-game show and I am here just a little bit disorganized this morning. You want to know the background? Let me know if you want to know the background of why I am disorganized this morning. And I'll tell you. Sometimes people want to know. Sometimes people don't give a shit. They go, just tell us the lineups. So let me know in the chat and I'll tell you what's going on and why we're a bit disorganized this morning. All right. I see you guys in the chat are debating what my best nickname is. I don't know, mate. I feel like it varies all the time. Seamus's best nickname is calling me the locksmith. I don't know why, but I actually like it. I don't. What does it mean? That I know how to get into tight areas, restricted zones are no match for me. What does it mean? Anyway, that's fine. I like it. What's the background? I'll tell you what happened. I was tired, Karen. I slept in, and so I didn't get up in time, and I was rushing to record the daily look ahead waiver wire stream show. I had to take Obi out for a walk. I don't know where he is now. And that put me behind schedule. So I just literally got in, created the thumbnail, put this up 10 minutes before we went live, came in here, haven't got my screen set up. I do now, but now I can go ahead and chuck up the lineups. But that's it. I'm running complete late. I haven't even published the daily look ahead show for tomorrow. The YouTube version is up and still processing, and it should go straight after this. That's what happened. We ran out of time. Let's take a look at lineups. We know that the Wizards are confirmed and Jordan Poole is back. Jones, Poole, Avdia, Kuzma, Gafford. The Sixers are confirmed. Maxey, Melton, Harris, Batum, Embiid. LeBron and Anthony Davis are playing. Absolutely no shock there. Aaron Nesmith is back, so we expect that he starts over Obi Toppin. Zion returns from his rest. Jordan Clarkson is back, but Larry Markkinen is out. What stupid lineup do they go with? Is it Fontecchio? Maybe? I don't know. What do they do? What else are we waiting on? Oh, and of course, for the Denver game, we thought this might be a possibility that they sit a bunch of guys, and they did. There's no Jamal Murray, obviously. There's no Aaron Gordon, and there's no Big Chungus, Nikola Jokic. So there you go. That's the news that we have. We're still waiting. There's only two statuses we're waiting on. One is Hunter Tyson. Don't care. One is Peyton Watson. Maybe care a little bit. So who is actually out? Who's pumped for Wizards Detroit today? Who's pumped for Detroit to lose their 14th consecutive? Let's see how that one goes. Bogdanovic and Harris are out. Gallinari returns. Corey Kispert moves to the bench for the Wizards. Hachimura, Reddish, Vanderbilt, Vincent are all out for the Lakers. Oubre, Springer, and House are out for the Sixers. Nesmith returns for the Pacers, and Simons is out. McCullum, Murphy, and Ryan are out for the Pelicans. CJ should be back next game. Markkanen's out for the Jazz. Clarkson returns. Gordon, Jokic, Murray are out. And Hunter Tyson questionable. Now, last game, DeAndre Jordan was the backup center over Zeke Naji. So, given that Malone seemed 100% pissed, well, here's the lineup for the Pistons, by the way. Cunningham, Ivy, Thompson, Stewart, Duran. So, Duran replaces Bagley. Thank absolute fuck for that. So, that's where we're at with that one. Lakers are starting Russell, Christie, Prince, LeBron, and AD. The Obi Toppin is starting over Nesmith, so now I have no idea. So Toppin is starting over Nesmith. The Blazers are starting Brogdon, Sharp, Kamara, Grant, Ayton. Back-to-back for Brogdon, scoot off the bench. Is Chauncey Billups okay? No. Is Chauncey Billups good? No. I don't know what they're doing in that team, but Scoot was all right there. I don't know why they're ramping up so slowly or why they're playing soft tissue legend Malcolm Brogdon on multiple back-to-backs after returning from a hamstring injury. The NBA stays NBAing. And that is all of the early lineups that are out. So, yeah. Don't know what else I was telling you, blokes. Just checking to see. Oh, yeah, DeAndre Jordan is probably going to start. Zeke Naji was out of the rotation. It's probably going to be a minute split there, but it does open up a lot for Peyton Watson. It opens up a lot for Strother. It opens up a ton on that team. And if I go and have a look, I don't even know how we've got the projections set at Basketball Monster. You can have a look at our projected lineup, which I have not done because I wasn't working at this point. But we've got Jordan, Porter, Holiday, KCP, and Jackson. I actually 100% agree with that lineup. All right. I'm just going to check the daily projections and who really stands out here from a Denver side. Anyone? Jesus. Reggie Jackson. Yeah, he's going to take a lot of shots. Man, nothing. Christian Brown, maybe? He hasn't really shown a giant ramp-up ability, but he's worth a look. Who else looks there for Denver? Jesus, it doesn't... Like, I'm not massively into Jordan. Holiday, absolutely not. Peyton Watson, maybe. Maybe. Watson gets 25 minutes. Could block 4 shots, have 3 steals. So he's got a little bit of upside there, I think, Peyton. And Strother's the other one that I'd pay a bit of attention to. So all those lineups are confirmed. We are just going to make that change there with Obi Toppin over Aaron Neesmith. I don't know why they're doing that. Why did Neesmith come in, start one game, get hurt, and then not get the swap back? I don't really know. I better double check that I've set my lineups because I've been working my absolute dick off trying to get all these shows out this morning that I haven't actually looked to see what my... Oh, okay, I got... Had Jokic in that lineup. I'll take him out. I hadn't seen what my teams were, if my overnight waiver claims processed. Who's on my bench there? Well, Jalen Duren can move in there and get some games. Just on my Roto team, just making some changes here. As I do this, I just wait for more news to come in. You guys can chat, and I will get to you in 1 second. All right, that one's set. What about this one? Yep, that's good. And this one. I think we're good there. Apart from Aaron Gordon being out, maybe I need to chuck Neesmith into that spot. All right. I think we're good now. Who am I up against in industry pickup this week? Mike Catron, watch the boxes. All right. There you go. Good to have you guys here. Ben Smith says, would I trade Duren for Jaren Jackson in a points league? I probably would, yes. Do I think Kessler is must roster? Yes, 100%. Do I think Poole is struggling because teams are prioritizing shutting him down as number one offensive threat? That is part of it, yes. But over the last 3 games, things have changed. He's getting more shots, he's being more assertive, and it's been much better. And a lot of it was, I think, and I did say this at one point, that he was trying to, for as much shit as Jordan Poole gets, he was sort of trying to do the right thing and involve his teammates more. That's why he wasn't taking more shots. And now things are sort of flipped, and now he's getting back to like, I'm just going to take the shots. Is trading Chris Paul for Giddey worth it, considering he may be suspended? I honestly don't think that he will be suspended. I don't know what the NBA does. I don't know, though. I don't know. Look, there has been plenty of instances of these sort of things happen in the past in the NBA, and no suspensions levied. Yes, some of the more notable ones are years ago. Karl Malone's one, obviously, a different story. Kobe Bryant didn't get suspended for his. So I don't really... I don't know that Giddey gets suspended. Chris Paul for Giddey, like, sure, Giddey's not... What's he doing? Like, is he even a 12-team must-roster player at this point? It's debatable. So I don't think I'd want to be taking that risk on at this point. Is Jabari Smith's shooting improvement real? It's a tough one because he was really good, obviously, in college. He wasn't as good on twos, but I tend to, if I'm going to lean one way or the other, I'm going to lean, yes, it's real. How do I feel about Hayward with Rozier and Bridges back? Is Hayward a drop 14-team league? Absolutely not, Jason Chen. LaMelo Ball is out. So Hayward is still getting 30 minutes. So until we see Hayward play like a 26-minute a night role every night, then in a 14-team, that's a very easy hold, I think. Do I drop Reddish? I dropped Reddish. So you can do if you want. Do y'all figure Kobe White is a hold? Yes, 100% he is. Why wouldn't he be? If you're debating whether you're holding Kobe White now when he's putting at the best stretch of the season, I'm not sure what the debate is. Like, he's playing really well. What's up with Vassell's minutes? Nonsense. I don't know. I think they'll go back up, but it's just a really frustrating scenario, obviously. Are we more optimistic with LaMelo's injury? No, not at all. No, not in the slightest. But I didn't think that this was LaMelo out for months. It depends what you mean by optimistic. I thought we'd looking at a week to 2 weeks for this injury. That was my initial estimation, and it stays the same. Sell high on JJJ? Well, if you mean Jaren Jackson, you're kidding yourself, because you can't sell high when someone is trash. You can't sell high when someone is disastrous, which is what JJJ is at the moment. So you can't sell high. Do you mean Jaime Jaquez Jr., which please don't call him JJJ. We don't need this confusion. Do you sell high on Jaime Jaquez? Yes, you do. If you can get a top 100 player, you do it. Otherwise, you roll it out. Roll it out is scooter hold 100% if you've got the ability to understand that he will be bad for a few weeks. If you are struggling and you've lost every matchup every week, then you're probably not able to do it. Is there a way to tell your league you're open to trading a player? Yeah, send an email around. Post it in your group chat. Say, guys, hey, I'm looking to move this guy. What do you guys think? Yeah, easy. Is Craig Porter a 16-team hold with Mitchell's hamstring injury? I guess it would depend on what other options are out there. I guess it would depend on what other options are out there, really. But I would say yes. I'm just going to reply to a comment by Sir Monster. All right, what else have we got? Any other news? We've got the Pacers lineup. We've already confirmed that. I think all those early lineups are done, confirmed. We're in, yeah, you've got them all. And then we've got, one of these stupid days, we've got this weird gap between games. So, yeah, we're miles off on this. We've got the 7 p.m. games, 3 of them, and then nothing until 9 p.m. Eastern, and then a 10:30 p.m. What a fucking stupid schedule that is. Absolutely ridiculous. If you are in here live in the pregame show, hit the thumbs up. That's always awesome and helps me very, very much. All right. Are the Bulls going to have a fire? Who knows? The Bulls should have done this years ago. They should never have gone in for the Vooch trade. They should never have signed DeMar DeRozan. So I don't know. They should, and I think they're more likely to do it. But who knows? How worried am I about Jimmy? I assume meant Jimmy Butler this season. As worried as I usually am. I'm usually not a big. Well, Jimmy Butler actually finished 10th in per game numbers. I'm not that person who thinks he's a first round guy. I was picking him in the mid 30s zone in a lot of spots because I'm always worried about his lower body injuries. He's had plenty of those as a problem. So I'm probably 5% more worried than I was at the start of the season, given how things have started off for him. And remember, when people get to 33 or 34, I'm not saying that Jimmy Butler is washed. I'm not saying that at all. But just for fun, should we do it? He's not washed. But when you hit age 33, honestly, once you hit age 29 in the NBA, everything starts to decline. How fast that declines depends on how good you are as a player. But when you hit 33 or 34, things can drop in a massive way. And I'm not saying Jimmy is bad, but he might have just, things just might have caught up to him and things just fall off a little bit more the older you get. So, yeah, I'm a little bit worried. Jaime Jaquez Jr. is HJJ. Shouldn't it be HHJ then? If you're gonna use the H on the Jaime, wouldn't you use it on the Jaquez as well? Why do the Ease rankings have Lakers so high when their defensive rating past 7 is top 5? I don't know, Jason. I have to go and have a look at it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the reasoning is there. I'm guessing it's full season stuff, but I don't know. Black Silla, lucky you asked that question. Did a whole show on expected return dates on injuries earlier today. Mid-December. Who gets the biggest bump with LaMelo out? It's going to be everyone who gets a bump, but probably Terry Rozier. He gets maybe 1.5 to 2 extra assists per game, I'm guessing. What does Harden rank in points leagues? Well, you can definitely see that on your league. Who do I prefer to Scoot and Keontae? I prefer Scoot. I think he's a better player. I think he's a better prospect, and I'll just take the extra upside of him there. The Wizards are tanking because there's a really good French tall... Dude, are you a year behind? I mean, there is a pretty good tall French player in Alex Sarr, but this draft is a mess. There are probably 8 guys who could go pick number 1. Not sure any of them are guaranteed to be like all-NBA type prospects. It's a mess. It's good to have Joe here. He hates everything I do. He thinks I'm terrible, but he watches every show. You're a real one, Joe. I actually love you, man, because you're just here all the time, subjecting yourself to self-hate. It's awesome. Love it from you. Do we stash Fultz if possible? IR is clogging up. It's interesting. If your IR is full, is Fultz upside top 70? Probably not. Is it top 90? Probably. But that's not a particularly high upside guy if you're getting dicked over with games. So if you need to move on, you move on. Yeah, basketball's a young man's game. After 30, you turn into a Bill. It can happen, yeah. The age cutoff that I'm using, and when I use my dynasty formulas, Bazemore, which we're testing out this season on Basketball Monster, 29's the hit, man. Once you hit 29, we start to decline. And it's like it's a bell curve, right? So you can sit like this, and then as you ramp up, you get there, you get to this level, and then it might be slow or it might be sharp. But once you hit 29, it's downhill. That's the easiest blanket rule when looking at players' production. Once you're 29, we drop. How much we drop, I don't know. But 29 is the general rule. Miles Bridges sell high. I wouldn't think you'd sell high with LaMelo out, honestly, because he gets a couple more shots in that scenario. Isn't there an Australian prospect this year? Proctor? Is that who you mean? There's prospects that are playing in Australia, Alex Sarr. Proctor, there's the guy from, what's his name, Rocco or something from Sydney. There's no one, who is the Australian guy? No one is actually coming to mind specifically. But yeah, Proctor from Duke. Tyrese Proctor, that's his name, isn't it? I think. I saw that CM Punk is back. What an interesting move that was. Didn't see that coming, or maybe you did. Oh, I didn't see it coming. I don't pay that much attention to wrestling at this point though. What else? So we've got basically it's a good slate in terms of news. Like the only thing we need to know is what actually happens with the Denver lineup, and I expect it'll be Holiday and Jordan because we just go with washed up veterans. We can put that whole Denver starting lineup on Wash Watch. All right. Straight after this, there is the preview show for Tuesday's games coming up. Wiss says, Wiss, you're always here, mate. Great legend you are. Why is Tyus Jones so bad despite being so good if he started last year? Number of reasons. And this is something I talked about ad nauseum in the preseason about Tyus Jones. When he started last season, he replaced Ja Morant. So he was able to get an increased level of usage and be more in control of the show. This season, when he starts, he plays next to Poole and Kuzma. So he doesn't get that level of being the guy in control of the show. He's also not being helped by the fact that Wes Unseld is sort of moving the minutes around quite a bit. But the one-to-one comparison versus looking at his starting job from last season versus the starting job this season never made any sense. In fact, it was very clear that would not be the case. And I banged that drum super hard. But now he's also had the extra thing on top about being dicked over by Unseld in minutes. Who gets the biggest bump with Lowry out? It's a really good question because we don't know what they're going to do in terms of their rotations. It's probably going to be Clarkson taking a lot of shots and John Collins getting more shots and a little bit more for Keontae and more for Sexton in the second unit. That'd be my guess. Is Toppin rosterable in 9-cat 12 team? Not really, mate. Like he started basically every single game this season apart from one and he's had 2 good games. So you can stream him in on a day like today, not a problem at all. But as a must roster guy, no. Do I think Bain will hold top 40 in Yahoo points once Jar and Smart are back in the lineup? In points, he's not as good as in categories. 40 is a reasonable mark. I would say he'd be around that, but probably a little bit outside would be my guess. Better Portland streamer, Kamara or Walker for boards. Just when you're doubting stuff, Blackzilla, when you're doubting stuff, go with the guy who's likely to play more minutes, and that's Kamara. Walker probably is a better per minute guy, but in 75% of like simulations of this game, Kamara will play more minutes, and that's probably what we want. Why is Dan Besbris fuming? What did I say that would piss off Dan? I'm sure there's something. Fox and Brogdon sell highs. Brogdon is. Fox, not really. Am I holding Brogdon when not Simmons? Simons is back. We'll see. Probably not, though. It's almost impossible to make that call weeks in advance. We don't know what's going to happen. There's a lot that could happen in that period of time. How good do I think Wemby will be at the end of this season? What do I think he'll improve from what he is doing now? Look, the thing that will improve for him is field goal percentage. So yes, he will improve. How good can he be? Like top 15, pretty easy. I don't know about that, Timmy. I don't know if it's the same knee that Sohan had issues with because I didn't really pay attention to his knee injury last year because there's a lot of bullshit surrounding the way that they were putting those injury reports out for the Spurs. I don't actually remember. I would guess it probably is, but I don't know. Poole looks better when he's playing point guard. I agree, McNuggets. I do agree with that. That was the case in Golden State as well. Just looking to see if anything else is going. If there's several games going at once, do I watch them simultaneously or do I have other people watch certain games? No, I have no one else watch other games for me, apart from people that I know and trust who are already there, like beat reporters. So I don't watch multiple games at once. That I just feel like I don't learn anything doing that. But from doing this for as long as I've done it, you can get notes from box scores, you watch the game, but you also pay attention to the people who are there, the beat reporters for the teams watching the games, and you see what they say. And you put all that stuff into context, and you flip through games as well. Stream Najee. Look, there's no guaranteed Najee even plays, Dylan. He was out of the rotation last game, or he plays good minutes because DeAndre Jordan started the last one, and I think they'll go with Jordan again. Najee could be a stream. Honestly, though, Jordan and Christian Brown are probably better options. But Reggie Jackson's going to be the guy. Go and grab him if he's available. What round do I value Miles Bridges' points? Have a look what Miles Bridges currently averages in your points league. And I don't know, like he maybe drops a little bit from there, but like you've got a fair indication of what he's producing at the moment. Shaden Sharp a drop? No. He might be, but he's not. Is Brandon Ingram a sell high? I don't think so. Like, what's he been doing that would make him a sell high? I think he's sort of just been what he is. Like, nothing is particularly exciting. Is Middleton's career done at this point? Absolutely not. Back-to-back injury-riddled seasons going on 34. His career's not done. He's not getting back to that same level, I don't think, that he was. But the knee is a real worry. It is a serious concern, and now he's got this Achilles tightness. I think we have to recalibrate our expectations for him, but that's about it. Isaac worth holding? I don't know. You give me no context, so I can't tell you. Stocks are hard to come by. That word's hard to come by. You should never use it. Sorry, Nate, I'm just picking the shit out of you here. Any path to additional minutes? No, not really. And this is part of the thing with Isaac. Is when I've talked about him all this time, it's like, how does he get 25 a night? He doesn't, because he's not getting them over Franz or Paulo. He's not going to get significant minutes at center, and then Joe Ingles needs to be used for his shooting numbers. So, no, like he doesn't have that path to additional minutes, I don't think, unless there are injuries, which we do not know. Slater says, how do we handle the Jazz guys with Hardy's random rotations? Honestly, I don't know. Last game was a definite message sender from Will Hardy. Does he keep doing that in this one? I think with Clarkson back, he probably starts, but maybe they go with Dunn again. They got the win last game and Fontecchio started, but a lot of the damage was done by Sexton and Horton Tucker coming off the bench. I honestly, I couldn't tell you. Like, bench the fringe guys. Like, who are the fringe guys? Keontae George? Well, he's going to start. Like, there's no doubt that he's going to start. But you got to understand, you got to take on the hit of the field goal percentage that comes with him. Who are the other fringe guys? Like John Collins? I don't know if he's fringe. Walker Kessler? I don't know if he's fringe. Yeah, but it is obviously tough. Obviously tough. Do I think Kessler gets a minutes increase anytime soon? One game he's played. One game back. So I'm sure it will come at some point. Is he a 25 a night kind of guy this season? It is an interesting question, Matty, because we thought that he might play 30 or 29 minutes a night. You know that I was very pushbacky on him as being a second or third round guy, and I even didn't like him at the end of the fourth round. I didn't like him in the top 50 because of numerous reasons. But things have happened this season where we have seen it with guys even playing well. Mark Williams, Jakob Poeltl, Dan Gafford, Jalen Duren at times, is that teams don't want to use these centers that can't shoot or struggle shifting onto the perimeter. They don't want to give them 32 minutes a night, 33 minutes a night. They just don't want to do it. So I don't think any expectations should sit at Kessler getting 30 a night. Can he be a good rim protector? Sure, but they've got other options. And part of this is also the depth of the center position, but the depth of the NBA and talent in general. If someone's got deficiencies, and we'll use Kessler as an example, can't shoot, struggles on the perimeter, you got other guys you can put in there. Like Collins, sure, he can masquerade as a center. Olynyk, he gets the job done. Omer Yurtseven can pinch hit. There are lots of different options they can throw out there that they don't actually need Kessler to play 35 minutes. And with his deficiencies, it's very easy to mix and match that stuff. So I hope that makes sense. Do I think Pop knows that he's wrong for the point guard experiment and is too stubborn now to go back on it? What has Sohan shown to suggest it's a good idea? This question comes up all the time. Do you think that Greg Popovich, and I don't know, Popovich is not as good coach anymore as he used to be. I understand that. But we'll go through this now. Pop is not playing Sohan because he thinks that it gives the team the best chance to win every single night. That is not what he is doing. He understands that it is a young team and they are trying to develop. And he's made a commitment to try and improve Sohan's ball handling and point guard abilities. And if it doesn't work, it might not work. But he's also not saying, all right, we gave you 12 games, you're done. We actually need to get back on it and change this. For a guy who, honestly, Trey Jones is a career backup. He's not a high-level starting caliber player. Now, if they had someone like Emmanuel Quickley, or they went and traded for a Cole Anthony, guys that should be starting and are very clearly starting caliber players, and they were still prioritizing Sohan, I'd be like, I'm not sure about this, because these other guys have this ability to turn into a dynamic 1-2 punch. I don't think Trey Jones does. Is Pop being stubborn? No, they've got a plan, though. And Sohan has shown improvements. And you can see every single dickhead in the world is going to post, look at this, imagine Wemby had a real point guard. Wemby's going all right. Like he's fine. We are 10 games into the bloke's career, and Sohan is improving. I don't think Sohan's a point guard. I don't. But I also know that he's shown some improvement over the last 4 or 5 games, 6 games. Will he ever become a high-level point guard? No. But will he become a guy that can work as a wing and a ball handler? That's the game. That's the ideal. That's where they want to go with this. And I just don't think they're cutting bait on it 10 games in. And say, well, by the way, Jeremy, we love you as a top 10 pick. We put this and we wanted you to develop, but after 10 games you struggled, so now you're coming off the bench playing 24 a night. I don't think they're going to do that. So is it pop stubbornness? I don't think so. Is it more just we've got a plan and we're prioritizing development and working these things out? I think that's more it. Not every coach is a Tom Thibodeau, we must win every second of every game right now. And there are a lot of fans that seem to think that way at the moment. And they go, well, you got to play Trey Jones. Look at the plus minus. Look at the on-off. Look at the combo. But they're not trying to win. They're trying to see what happens with these combinations. And that's why I do think it's going to last longer. Again, do I think that he's a point guard? No. But it doesn't really matter if I think that. I hope that makes sense. Is it worth picking up Wiggins in an 18-team points league? Yes. What do I usually post during the off-season? Lots. We do season review shows on every team. We do a lot of NBA draft content. We do free agency content. We do recaps of the season, like look at what worked, what didn't work. A lot of strategy stuff, a lot of statistical analysis stuff. It's where we come up with a lot of the things of this show that you'll find start to get mentioned through a lot of other fantasy shows and fantasy spaces about the variability of stats, the correlation of stats, the game-to-game, week-to-week, year-on-year variability. What's the most up and down numbers that enable you to tie in and get better at fantasy. That's the stuff that I do through the off season. I try to be more groundbreaking with what I do and provide information out there that's not out in the public sphere that can become more mainstream. And I think that has worked. So that's what we do in the off season. Is Asar a hold in 10 team? Yeah, I don't know why you would drop him at this point. Do I think Harden will start shooting more? Is he peaking now? I don't think he's going to go back to the same shot volume that he was in Philadelphia, but I think there's maybe 1 or 2 extra that he can get at the moment. Do I think Dylan Brooks will likely play in the back-to-back? There is absolutely no reason to suggest that he won't. I don't know why we would suggest that he wouldn't. Is Livers fantasy material? Nope. Hunter over Bay. Look at production over the last 3 games. Cool. I still have Bay over Hunter. It's fine. Where do I find data like who Halliburton assists to? Go to addmorefunds.com. Rankings on Basketball Monster are a bit confusing. How do I determine who a top 100 player is? I don't think they're that confusing at all, honestly. What I will always suggest when looking at rankings is to punt turnovers. Always will suggest that. And I always downweight the value of blocks and steals because of their variability. I always do that. Put them at like 0.8, 0.7. Always do that. The other thing, when I talk about who top 100 is, I don't like to look at what has happened. I like to look at projections and what may happen as we move forward. I think that's a way better indicator of the value that you can get versus like what actually has happened. That is all tied into projections, but looking at what has happened doesn't give you an indication necessarily of what will happen. And that brings us to the end of the show. So thank you everyone for being here. Good to have you guys here. I hope you can hit the thumbs up on the way out and help the show out. And I will see you, there's a show coming up straight after this. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.